I lean over her shoulder and I'm like, oh, are you back on Instagram? And she goes, oh, no, I blocked you guys.
Wait, what?
Hello, welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer living in Charleston, South Carolina, and with me is my college roommate and co-host, Kelly.
I'm Kelly Busby, a former radio host and current volleyball mom, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus. Together, we hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we are back again this week to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo. Today, we'll be discussing Below Deck Season 11, Episode 16, Salt in the Chef's Wounds.
Here's your recap. Captain Carey announces cabin inspections, which annoys Ben. The guests think the food is too salty, and Nick worries that he won't hit his stride in the galley before the season ends. Paris and Sunny eat crème brûlée, and Kyle and Ben are called to the Wheelhouse. Kelly, how'd you feel about this episode?
Thought it was a good episode. I did love the shakeup of the cabin inspections. That was kind of fun. But have we ever seen that happen?
No, it felt like summer camp or something. Yeah.
It was good.
No,
I thought it was a good episode.
I loved this. This is exciting.
Yeah.
So when the episode starts out, it's the morning before the final charter. Dylan wakes up Nick because he's snoring so loudly, and Nick is startled and he says, I'm not asleep.
Have you ever done that before?
Totally.
I'm not asleep. I'm here.
I wasn't sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping. I used to do that a lot when I worked the morning show, and I would come home and I would sleep like around 1 or so, and my dad would call the house, like the house phone, and I would answer it and be like 93.3. He's like, you were sleeping. I'm like, I wasn't sleeping.
Where am I?
Where am I? What's happening?
So Fraser asks Paris how things are between her and Nick, and she says no tension whatsoever. And she plans to just stay in her lane, and she says, let Nick crash and burn.
Why is she so sure that he's going to crash and burn?
I don't know.
Maybe it's just a weird thing.
Yeah, maybe there's more that we haven't seen, but he seems like he can totally handle it, you know?
Yeah.
So
far.
Yeah, Sunny and Kyle preside over a rat funeral on the dock. This was disgusting.
Poor Ratatouille, who was a female Ratatouille.
Yeah, Ratatouille. This was kind of funny, but I didn't need to see the dead rat.
I didn't need to see that.
Captain Carey does his pre-charter walk around that he does, and he finds a jet ski that's all salty. And Ben is annoyed. He wants Captain Carey to just relax. It's the last charter. How about Ben just wash the jet ski each time?
I'm sorry. Has Captain Carey ever let up on anything?
Right.
I mean, it's his job to make sure that you're on point until the season is done. And Ben's just being a bit of a brat.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So the guests arrive. They look gorgeous. And so did those pink drinks that they had.
I was in heaven. They were just so pretty. And one thing I really like from the season, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but they're sharing a little bit of how the charter guests all know each other.
I do love that.
And I think that is so neat because it kind of lets us into their world a little bit more. And then we're not like, well, why do they not like each other? Or why are they so friendly? You know, it's a neat aspect of the show. I like it.
I like that too. And it feels very genuine because the stews are asking them, and I'm sure this is probably happens every time. Like,
absolutely.
I'm glad that we're being let in on it this time.
Yeah, same.
Barbie tells Zandy she needs 5 minutes to herself to do her makeup, and Zandy is not happy.
And here is why, because they do this nice little montage of Barbie telling her friend on the phone that she's just so busy. She has so much to do, and she hasn't stopped working since she's been on the boat. And all she does is work, 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 work. All I can think of is the Rihanna song. But anyway, while in the montage, they're showing Paris and Zan like busting their humps, running all over the place, getting stuff done. So,
yes, but okay, I just spent
a bit of
time with Barbie, so I'm hesitant to say anything bad.
Right.
This to me just felt like an editing trick, you
Oh, it
know?
absolutely was. They did not help Barbie with her
No,
point here at
we
all.
know Barbie is a really hard worker, and I feel like they did her a little dirty on
They
that
did.
edit.
They
So
did.
I just put that out there. So it sounds like Kyle and Barbie are going to hang out in Miami for a week after the
Yay!
charter season. And Fraser and Zandy sounds like they're going to do something.
Love it.
And then Ben tells Sunny that he wants to see her after the season. Surprise, surprise.
I love all the postseason plans are being made. It's so
Mhm.
cute. Yay.
But as we've learned from past seasons, it's not over till it's over. Like,
That's right.
so much can change in the last couple of days, and people are like changing flights, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what
Yeah.
exactly is going to happen. We need to get through the last night out.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, lunch. The guests like it. They do say it's a bit salty, and I think
Okay.
Barbie overhears that maybe the food needs salt. And then she tells Fraser. Fraser tells Nick, game of telephone. Oh no.
I mean, this is not going to go well. No, and I'm surprised they didn't go back and just ask the guest who said something
Right.
and just say too salty, not enough salt,
Yeah,
yeah, but now he's going to go a little heavy
I know.
because one person said it was
Yeah,
something about salt because one person said something about salt.
right. And it sounds like she's just really sensitive to salt. Like she can really pick it out quickly out of,
Yeah.
when she eats something. So maybe it's, a quirk that she has. Maybe it's actually
Yeah.
not that salty. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's water sports time. I like that little green floaty cabana thing.
Where has that been all season?
I know, seems like a new thing.
I love it.
Barbie overslept on her break. I didn't really think this was a big deal. Like one time, it happens. It's
I mean,
so
at least she knew
easy.
where she was.
Yeah, it's so easy when you're in one of these dark little cabins to like hit snooze, or maybe your alarm didn't go off. Like I used to have nightmares like this on when I worked on boats. Like it happens.
And you could tell she was totally out when he came up to wake her up. And she had that same look at her eyes when I wake Mallory up from a deep nap, or like when there's a tornado siren going off and we have to go in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
The guests are doing Reiki at sunset. This is lovely.
I love the practitioner and her style, just everything about her. It was super neat. Have you ever done Reiki?
Not officially, but I have a friend that has like done it to me, but she's not a Reiki practitioner. It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
Have you?
I wanna experience that once.
Yeah. Dylan and Sunny chat about what comes after the season ends. And Sunny wants to know Ben outside of like this experience and him being her boss.
But do you, Sunny? Do you?
Let's hope it's a good experience.
Yeah.
Captain Carey finds the Flybridge guest area messy, and he tells Sunny and Dylan, who are down in the crew mess eating, they shouldn't be eating until the guest area is clean. And Kyle and Ben are taking the Reiki person back, and so there's and then the other two deck people are eating, so there's no deck people like working right now.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, this crew has senioritis at this point. And
Captain
Carey is pissed.
They've totally checked out. And it's not good.
Dinner is French. The first course is a salad with arugula, but the guests don't like arugula, although they didn't put that on their preference sheet. Although I wouldn't have thought, like, if I didn't like one type of salad, I don't think I would think to put like that on my preference sheet. So it's hard to think of everything. The second course is lobster. The primary says, again, it's too salty for her, but the others do like it.
So to the chef's defense, they did, like you said, they did not put that they didn't like arugula lettuce on their preference sheet. But yeah, I feel like they're a little, I don't know.
The next day, Captain Carey announces that at 6 p.m. tonight, there's going to be cabin inspections.
Dun, dun, dun.
He says he wants to make sure there are no fire hazards, escape hatches aren't locked, and things are tidy. But this is kind of punishment, right? For them kind of slacking off here on the last charter.
Absolutely.
the crew, they are not excited, especially Ben. The interior starts cleaning their cabins because they know they're not going to have time later, so they do it then. And Fraser is in favor of cabin inspections.
I'm not sure why Ben is so grumpy about it, because it sounds like it happens on all vessels and it's a safety protocol kind of thing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure they've done this on other seasons, but the captain didn't have cause, or it wasn't part of the storyline for
Yeah.
them to share it with us. But all of the rooms, of all the rooms to be checked, it was his. It was a hot mess.
Yeah, it was bad. Um, let's see. So lunch today is on the beach. Paris sets a
Yes,
beautiful table, gorgeous.
beautiful.
And Nick has done a bunch of salads and shrimp.
It was absolutely stunning setup, and the guests seem to really like it. But seeing all of that stuff that is brought over to make that look so pretty gives me so much anxiety,
Yes,
because
I
so
know.
much is going to be forgotten or can be forgotten. And even if you are like the best at making lists and scratching things off, it will happen. It
Yeah,
just makes me so anxious.
I know. Exactly. When you have to like shuttle stuff across. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Um, Paris in her green screen says she thinks Nick is lazy and she's watching him at this beach picnic, but she's not commenting much, at least this time.
I'm not sure why she thinks he's lazy. I mean, he did forget foil wrap, and he just asked if she had some, just
Yeah,
by chance. I don't think he was expecting her to bring it, but
right. I
I don't
don't know.
know. It was just weird.
It was. So one of the guests declines her creme brulee and she tells Paris, you can have it. And Sunny and Paris start eating the creme brulee.
Yeah, they did.
And then the guest asks, you know what? On second thought, I would like that creme brulee. And Fraser says, this is why we don't do this. And so he sends
Yeah.
Paris to apologize. But the guests think it's hilarious that, that they ate it.
She handled it so well. She walked up and said, "But you said I could have it." And they just started, oh, it was so funny. I'm
Yeah,
glad the
they
guests
wasted
had fun with it
no
too.
time.
Yeah.
So funny. Okay, back to the boat. The cabin checks begin.
Yeah.
Everyone does pretty good. I think
Yeah.
they're rating like a 7 or a 10. Kyle and Ben have not cleaned theirs at all. And Captain Carey calls them to the wheelhouse, tells
Yeah.
them how disrespectful it was, and he's very angry.
Yes. They didn't even try.
Yeah.
Absolute goobers. Absolute.
Yeah, I mean, it easily Ben could have said, "Hey Dylan, go down." Well, Dylan actually did clean his up. "Hey Kyle, go down for
Yeah.
5 minutes and straighten up your stuff, and then we'll switch and all go." Like you could have
Absolutely.
found 5 minutes in the day to do
Yeah.
this.
Maybe not suck Sunny's face so much. I don't know.
Yeah. Next week is the finale
Can
episode.
you believe it?
I kind of can. I feel like we're running out of steam. We're running out of stuff to talk about on this.
Yeah. It's
The
going to be a
last
quick
couple of,
episode,
yeah,
like
I
quick
mean,
goodbyes and stuff,
yeah, it'll be the goodbyes. It'll be the last night out.
which looks
Um,
juicy.
looks like some drama with Barbie and Zandy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Okay, yeah, that's it.
So it's time for our segment, Fraser's Phrases. Sarah, which one of these single quotes do we want to do this week?
Well, let's just say we only found one good quote
Okay.
from the whole
Okay.
episode. And what?
All right. So we found one quote this episode. So Sarah, tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
Cabin inspections are very important. It shows how much you respect the vessel. So stay tidy and have some decorum, you swines.
I kind of love that Fraser likes cabin inspections so much.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, it is
He's
like
so
seeing his
tidy.
cabin is a direct
Yeah.
reflection of him, and it just made total sense.
Yeah. And good quote. We're running out of Fraser's phrases, sadly.
Makes me sad.
Hopefully next episode we'll have a good number to kind of end the season. So
Fingers crossed. It's time for Hot Tub Convo, where we discuss what's happening with our favorite below deck cast members and also Sarah's adventures.
you and I have not talked about the New York watch party that I attended.
No.
So let me just say, on our last episode, I mentioned that there was going to be a watch party, and I said, "Oh, and it's a shame because I'll be connecting through LaGuardia
Yeah.
around that time, but I'm
And we
gonna."
joked that you would like wave hi and
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, I had a session in Charleston like on Tuesday, and it was gonna rain that day, so it got canceled and moved to Thursday. And I was like, could I get off the plane in LaGuardia and go to this party? Would that be crazy? And so I did it. I booked a hotel like close to the club, and I booked a one-way flight to Charleston like the next day from LaGuardia, and I went. Thankfully, I did remember when I got to the airport to tell him like, "Hey, my luggage needs to go to LaGuardia, not Charleston." Because
Oh, yeah.
I had two suitcases because we'd done the podcast. I'd done photo shoots. I had like all this crap and I had bought
Yeah.
all this stuff in DC. Anyway, thankfully my luggage did make it.
You're very lucky
So
there.
yeah. So I get off. Of course, I did not pack any makeup. I did not pack like a good outfit for this party.
Are you kidding?
Um,
I
so
never would have known.
well, good.
Yeah.
So before I got on my flight in DC, I went to Target. I got some like a little bit of makeup, a little bit
Yeah.
of like eyebrow stuff,
Yeah.
and then and a curling iron, although I ended up not curling my hair, so now I have an extra curling iron. Long
Yeah.
story short. So I get to New York and I get to my hotel, $375 a night hotel in the Flatiron district. But I had like 30 minutes to make this decision. I didn't have a lot
Right.
of time.
Right. YOLO.
So
YOLO.
I YOLO. So I walk to H&M and I buy a black shirt to wear with my black pants. That was like the
Yeah.
best I could do. And I go to this nightclub. It's called Slate, New York. It's in the Flatiron district.
Okay.
And so Alex P. Taylor, who we just had on the podcast a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
was hosting this event. Um, I'm the first one there, first of all. I wanted to get there really early. I got there at like 8:01. Nobody was there.
Okay.
The bouncer was like, let me find out if I can let you in yet, blah, blah. Okay. There was a slide, like they had stairs, but they also had like a tube slide that you could go down, which I did end
Okay.
up going down once with Barbie and about broke her shoe.
Ah,
Um, so Barbie and Paris were there,
yeah.
and Toomey was there.
What
She
a
lives in New York.
surprise.
This was so cool. So we had charter guests Alex, Brandon McLaughlin, who
Yeah.
was on a few episodes ago. Christy Hardy was a primary from a few seasons ago, although we didn't end up talking at the party and we didn't realize it till afterwards. And I was like, oh, you look familiar. She's like, oh, you look familiar. So, and then there were some friends and there were some fans. Barbie's mom and dad were
Oh,
there.
no way.
Yes, so that was really fun.
Yeah.
And so we watched the episode that was on when we got there was the one with Alex P. Taylor's
Okay.
episode. And so we got to watch a little bit of that. And then we got to watch Monday's episode. And then we got to watch Barbie and Paris on Watch What Happens Live because they had filmed it earlier that day. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
Barbie was so sweet to me. I was not sure if she liked us or not.
Right.
But she was so sweet. She's like, "Oh, you're here by yourself. Sit with us. Like, hop in this photo." She was so
Oh,
super sweet.
that's neat.
Yeah, I had so much fun with Alex. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we loved him when we interviewed him, but we had so much fun. I want to be his best friend.
Oh, jealous. So
He had
jealous.
his good light, that they were
Yes.
using on that episode.
Yes.
And so I really didn't take too many photos. I just let him take photos and then he sent them to me. And I was thinking, I need to start carrying my little light. Like I
Yeah.
should bring BravoCon. Like we got to get the good light.
Yeah. We could be Sarah. We could be the pod with the good light instead of
Yeah.
Becky with the good hair. Pod with the good light.
Okay, so this is the most interesting thing that happened that night.
Okay.
Okay, so Alex, Barbie, and I are like sitting on this little couch. I think it's before the episode starts.
Okay.
And I see that she's on Instagram. And now let me preface this with saying I thought that she was taking a break from Instagram because I hadn't seen anything for a while, and I had
Okay.
tried to look her up and she was like not on Instagram. And I thought,
Okay.
oh, with like the Kyle stuff and her
Right.
dad, she just doesn't want to deal with it. And so I lean over her shoulder and I'm like, oh, are you back on Instagram? And she goes, oh, no, I blocked you guys.
Wait, what? No
She had
way.
us blocked for weeks.
Oh no,
And I was like,
why?
oh my gosh, Barbie. I'm like, why? Like, we think you're a hard worker. And she's like, you can say anything you want about my personality, but do not, you question my work ethic. And you said I
Got
was
it.
spinning and not doing work. And I was like, yeah, we did say that one time. And she was like, and I was just like, peace out. And I'm like,
I
well,
respect that.
yeah, I'm so sorry. But she did continue to listen to our podcast because she quoted back to me the episode with Jill Zarin. And I said,
Yeah.
how could you like forgive Jill Zarin for making your life miserable on charter, but you can't forgive us for saying one time that you weren't working.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I thought that was a good point. And she's like, I'll unblock you guys. I'll unblock you guys.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
so she said truce and we like shook hands and everything was good. And I had just gotten nachos delivered for Alex,
Yeah.
and he Barbie got up and left, and he was like, that was so awkward. As soon as you said, are you still taking a break from Instagram, I knew that she had blocked you. And he was like, I'm
Yikes.
so glad the nachos came when they did because it helped like with the tension.
She
um
looked absolutely stunning in your
Didn't she?
photos.
Oh,
All
she
everybody
is.
did.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she looks beautiful on TV. She's
Right.
so beautiful in person, like just stunningly gorgeous.
Love it.
Um, let's see what else. I didn't really get to talk to Paris that much. I talked to her a little bit. I told her we called her to the Wheelhouse in that episode that was going to air the next day. She was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what that means. Anyway, um, let's see what else. Oh, so at Watch What Happens Live, Brandon got to go, Alex got to go. They were like behind the scenes. Barbie's parents were in the audience, and they were also filming, they film several episodes a day. And
Oh
so
yeah.
Lisa Vanderpump was there. So they all got to meet
Whoa.
Vanderpump, and Gordon Ramsay was there. And Alex was filming with Gordon Ramsay the next day in Connecticut for Hell's Kitchen or
Fun.
something. So that was kind of cool.
Wow.
Alex got to meet Andy Cohen this time and like get a picture with him. So that was
Saw that
cool.
picture. That was cool. That was really
Yes.
neat.
So Alex had to drive back to Connecticut because he was filming the next day. So the rest of us went to this gay bar around the corner called Boxers, where all the bartenders are in boxers. So that was kind of fun.
I like it.
So Brandon and his friends, Jose and Jules, were there. I love Jose. I think you'll recognize him because he's just kind of around in Instagram photos. And I think he's friends with a lot of the Potomac women. So
Okay.
I see him in pictures with, who do I see him with? Ashley Darby
Okay.
and such,
Fun.
Giselle. But he's so fun. He was actually on a reality show called like the 12 Dates of Christmas or something like that. That's on HBO
Was
Max.
it on Lifetime? Because wow.
It sounds like it.
It does, yeah.
Let's see. And then Toomey and Paris were there. And I had such good talks with Toomey, just like talking
Yeah.
about relationship stuff. And she was asking about our podcast. She said she would come on the pod and like recap an episode of Med with us this next season. So that's
Yay!
exciting.
Yay.
Let's see. Oh, and I exchanged phone numbers with Toomey and Barbie.
Love
And
it.
Toomey, when I was like, I'm gonna head back to my hotel, which was like an 8-minute walk, Toomey was like, please text me when you get back to your room, which was
Did
so
you walk back by yourself?
I did.
Sarah
I did.
Marie.
I know. Bill was like, you need to take a cab, but it was so close. It was like a quarter mile. It was the Flatiron district. It was very like, it was a fine area to be walking around in.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I texted Toomey and then she texted me when she got home. Anyway, is very, very sweet. Let's see, what else do I want to remember to tell you? Oh, I have a message from Paris and Barbie, and I forgot to send it to you, but I'll send that to you and we can insert that here. They did just like a little thing for the pod. So
hey, what's going on? What was the best part about being on Watch What Happens Live? Meeting Andy Cohen. What about you?
Definitely Andy Cohen and the
Did
whole
you guys
vibe.
meet Lisa
Really nice
Vanderpump?
meeting you, Frank.
Actually, we did, and we met Gordon Ramsay, and it was insane.
It was wild.
Yeah, Gordon was like, "You look like you're about to go out there." I'm like, "I am."
But
But I'm surprised you didn't give him any advice on your garnish.
I know. I really wanted to yell at me.
Thanks
Tell me
for
off.
coming. We love you guys. We love your podcast.
Love it.
but great night. So worth the $375 hotel room.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
And it just worked out. Like it was meant to be that you were supposed to be there.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. And thank you, Alex, for the invitation. Like, it was just so fun. And so, and Alex said, like, no matter what, you made up with Barbie. So
That's huge
You know,
because
was
she's going to
good.
go on to big things. I can feel it.
yeah. And we talked a lot about this season, and she really did kind of carry the season, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of super interesting things. I mean, we had the Ben and Sunny drama, but and
that
we
was,
had
but that was done by like season or episode 10.
yeah, and we did
You
have
know?
Fraser with a guest, but that was like 1 or 2 episodes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I again
yeah.
forgot to ask Alex if Fraser and Steven are still together. Darn it, I keep forgetting. Yeah, so great night. Wish you were there, but alas, you were on a private
I was in
jet.
Detroit. I was on my way to go to Detroit. So
Yeah,
we're just jet setting fools, Sarah.
I know we are. It's been quite
So
a week.
busy.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Watch What Happens Live. So Paris
Yeah.
and Barbie looked gorgeous as
Mhm.
always. Barbie's parents were in the audience, and right away Andy asked her dad if he was okay with everything she's done on this show. He said yes. He's very proud of her, and also of how hard she worked. So kudos to Andy for asking the question that we were all wondering too.
Yeah.
Paris said Sunny needs to dump Ben. This implies that they are still together.
Perhaps.
Okay. Barbie said she and Kyle are not together anymore, which kind of makes me sad.
Yeah.
Barbie and Paris said there were a lot we didn't see with Chef Nick, a little passive aggressive comments under his breath all the time, a la Fraser.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
good
They
stuff.
did such a good job. And it was so fun to watch them, like watching themselves and like watch it with Barbie's parents. Like that was so fun.
Super cool.
They did such a good job. So a little bit of news. Daisy is going to be in Charleston this summer for a week, July 2nd through the 9th. She's going to be on the Everything Zen sailing charter boat.
Oh, okay.
And they haven't announced like, well, I think you can probably go ahead and book, but I'll have more details here in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get Daisy on the pod ahead of this so she can help promote this for them.
Absolutely.
But this is the
How
same
exciting.
boat that Madison from Below Deck Sailing Out season 1 was on, and we did an
Yeah.
interview on the boat. So very excited. And I put a bug in Barbie's ear like about doing this, and she's like, "Oh no, I can't do sailboats. I get seasick."
Oh,
So I'm like, "No, it's just in the harbor. It's a catamaran." So anyway, we'll see. But that's my goal, to get everybody down here to Charleston to work on this boat. It's time for our segment, Join Me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Carrie for a stern talking to. Kelly, who gets your vote this week?
oh. Ben and Kyle for not cleaning their rooms.
Yeah. Little boys.
Bad boys.
Get up here, fellas. That's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially our awesome producer, Grace. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend, and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
You can follow us on Instagram at Above Deck Pod and email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. And you can always watch our episodes on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelly Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. We'll see you next week.